Hello, welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
What's up? It's Iceman.
And today is the closest that we're going to get to Valentine's Day on this schedule. Yes.
Love it.
You might, actually, Patreons will get the actual episode out next week on Valentine's Day. It's not going to be this one, but,
Love it.
But yeah. All the rest of you, you get it a little bit early before Valentine's Day. And, if you want to join our Patreon, you get episodes a day or two early. Patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. It really helps support the show. It helps us keep Mark around. Mark is like our guy that does everything. He's like the man, the myth, the legend, but like mostly like a myth.
Yep.
And Steve does Crypto Corner once a week.
Yep.
Helps a lot of people make a lot of money.
It's been sick.
And we do a live stream once a month with a free roll poker tournament where we give away cash prizes. So it's a fun time. Got a great Discord community. If you want to come hang out, chill with people, ask some questions, say hi, have friends, all of that stuff. But today, I was like, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. Yes, we could do like another couples relationship type episode. Ugh. But also, every time there's a corporate holiday where like it's super mainstream in America, there's always some like dark history with it. Like there's some fucking fucked up dark origin to it. And I hadn't looked into it for Valentine's Day before, but I was almost positive
Labor Day was insane.
Really? What? No, that's not a corporate holiday.
Labor Day massacre.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, yeah, for veterans, it's always it's always got a dark origin.
Well, that's Veterans Day.
Okay.
About Labor Day.
Well, what's Labor Day?
Oh, we'll get to it another episode. It's a whole episode. Labor. It's going to be like 90 minutes.
All right, the ones I'm talking about, the ones where you give greeting cards to people. I've never gotten a Labor Day card from you, and frankly, I'm offended.
Frankly, you don't work that hard.
How dare you? So Valentine's Day, I was like, there's got to be some shit. Like, there's got to be some shit because it's all like lovey-dovey, romance, and buy chocolates and flowers and stuff. And like even Christmas, which is like the most joyous of holidays, right, is like, oh, it was a pagan holiday. And like, Santa is actually Moloch and they used to offer their children and to sit on his lap. And actually Santa is an anagram for Satan.
But we made it fun.
That's
right. We always do.
And that's what we do here in America.
That's what we always do.
So when I was looking into Valentine's Day, of course, there was some fucked up origin story.
The Valentine's Day massacre, right?
And paganism is involved.
Of course.
But no, it wasn't quite that disastrous. I think the more dark it is, the more joyous we made it. So like Christmas has got to be like the darker one. Halloween's kind of weird too. But we just kind of kept that dark.
Yeah. Everyone expects it.
But Valentine's Day, there was a lot of like muckiness of the actual history of it. So it's not very like factual where like we can say with concrete evidence that this is how Valentine's Day started. There's like 3 different Saint Valentines that people talk about in history. 2 of them had really similar stories though. So I don't know if they were actually the same person or if they were conflated with each other, but I'll just kind of give you a mixture of them.
Okay.
Basically, so there were 2 St. Valentines, as I said, but the one that we think is like kind of linked to marriage and love and stuff is this guy who basically in the 1400s, there was a temple priest and the Roman emperor at the time, Claudius II, his actual full name was Claudius Gothicus, so he's like definitely a villain. He outlawed marriage because he wanted more soldiers to go to war and like they wouldn't go fight in battle if they were married. So then he outlawed marriage, but this temple priest named Valentine, which by the way, there was tons of Valentines back then, but this temple priest named Valentine used to marry young couples in secret, because it was outlawed. They weren't allowed to really get married, but he would do it in secret. And then when he was found out, basically he got sent to like he was jailed, but he was jailed with an aristocrat family, like as his like captors, like he was prisoner at this family's house. And the dude had a daughter who was blind. And he's like, okay, if you could cure my daughter from blindness, we'll convert to Christianity. And he did. So he held his hand over her and did a chant, and then he cured her from blindness. So then the whole family got baptized. And when Claudius Gothicus found out, he was pissed and he had the whole family executed. But with Valentine, he had him beheaded. And according to the fables, he wrote a note to the daughter because he kind of fell in love with the daughter that he cured of blindness.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and he was like, from your Valentine. And so that's why we have notes that's like, will you be my Valentine?
Wow.
Because he like saved her and fell in love with her.
Yeah, that's a dark origin story.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. The other crossover is with the pagans. So I told you there was going to be pagans involved. Back in Rome, they had this festival called the Festival of Lupercalia, and that was between February 13th and February 15th. So February 14th falls smack dab in the middle there. And they would, like, basically men would like strip naked or almost naked, and they would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purity. And then they would take the hides of those animals and they would just whip women with them. But the women would like it. They were like, yeah, whip me with it, because they believed that it would make them more fertile. So the women would just like line up to get whipped by this like sacrificed goat hide, and they would get like the blood on them and stuff.
It's like getting hit with a rug.
Yeah. And then all of the young maidens would put their name into an urn that the bachelors at the time would then draw names, and they would be like coupled up with that young maiden for the duration of the festival.
Do you think there was ever like they draw a name and the guy's like, oh, fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Because in the research it said if it was a good fit. So I think like, yeah, sometimes
It's like, oh,
the guy was like,
shit.
can I redraw?
Yeah, or like, hey, it's kind of smeared. I think it says Agatha.
Yeah. And they had to like write their name on clay tablets, so it wasn't, maybe
Okay.
you
can't
could try
smear,
to
you
get
can't
away with
fudge
some
it.
shit. Yeah. So they would be coupled up for the festival and do all sorts of sexual things with their newfound fertility, and often it would lead to marriage. Like they'd be like, oh, I kind of like you.
That's
and
good.
we
I
don't
like
live
that.
very long because it's ancient Roman times.
Yeah, we're going to be like 30.
So yeah, let's just do the thing.
Okay.
Get married
Okay.
now. Yeah. So people say because of the overlap in that time period where it's like February 13th through 15th, and because there was like a period of time where Christianity was like kind of Christianizing all these old pagan holidays, that they just took that holiday and were like, well, like fertility and stuff happens there. Let's just make that a Christian holiday and keep it about like love, or I don't know. It wasn't really ever about love. It was about fertility and fucking.
Nobody had time for love. You live till you're 29 years old.
Yeah.
And like, you
Just
gotta
let's get it
pop
over
your
with.
kids out, get your bloodline going, and then
Pick my name so I can.
yeah, let me die. Please
Yeah.
let me die.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then like the rich Romans would have like, the elite Romans would have like really fucked up times of enjoyment where they would bring in prostitutes from the next city over and make them fight a lion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
I can see how that'd be kind of hot though.
Well, it always ended in death.
Oh,
Like they were tied to
like
like
if they beat the lion, that's kind of hot.
that's kind of hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did not.
Yeah.
It was just a sick way for them to be entertained because
Yeah.
they had everything. So they were like, we have all the money in the world. We have all the riches in the world.
Make the Bedouins fight.
Yeah, but that's a story for another time. That didn't happen on Valentine's Day. So, yeah, there were like two different Valentines that both got beheaded by Claudius Gothicus, and both of them got laid to rest near the same highway. So it's very like, we don't know which one officially in the Catholic rulings or whatever, when they wrote everything down. Officially, it was the Bishop of Tournai, but we don't really know.
You said that as if it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Bishop Attorney. Like
Well, the
the
Bishop
way you
of
you
Tournai.
dropped his name, I was like,
I mean, because
Oh,
it was
shit,
between
all
him
right.
and that temple priest,
okay,
right? But
Yeah.
I kind of like the temple priest story.
okay,
But it's not like he doesn't get the credit
I get it.
in the official books.
Okay,
Which, by the way, all of this research was done by Bulgarian monks.
not trustworthy. Is that what we're saying?
No, I'm just saying it's kind of random. It's like for Catholics, I don't know.
You never know.
It's just it's a weird way. Like, but they dug through all kinds of history, like for years to try to get all of this information. So
you know what I never understood? Why does Jesus have a fish?
He doesn't have a fish. Like, he's not like keeping an aquarium.
No, Jesus has a fish. It's like a Jesus fish. It's a whole thing.
No, I know.
see it on the back of Only Vans.
Well, because have you ever fucking read the Bible?
No.
Well, he fed a village with one fish.
Damn, dude. So everybody only had like a scale each?
No, he turned it into a bunch of fish because he's fucking Jesus.
Right. He Jesused it.
Yes.
That's sick.
You don't believe it?
Do I not believe that he turned it? I think he David Blaine did. I think he was like the David Blaine.
They were like, we only have like one fish. And he was like, nah, we have a whole village worth of fish now.
I saw David Blaine shove a spike through his own head. What? That's way better than what Jesus did.
What the hell? You by the way, fucking, you didn't even know what Jesus did. So don't keep his name out your mouth.
I know about the water to the wine one.
Okay.
Chris Angel, by the way, can fly. Jesus never flew.
Well,
I'm just saying.
He walked on water. That's kind of flying.
Walking on water. I saw David Blaine do that in a pool.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
He didn't have any like CGI tricks or editing tricks back then. So like, I feel like Jesus is way more legit.
I don't know about. I think. Oh, I saw David Copperman make an entire audience disappear.
Yeah.
So did Jesus ever do anything like that?
He made our sins disappear.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, he healed people. David Blaine just like makes a card come out of an apple and shit.
No, he shoved a freaking double-bladed spear through his stomach.
What?
And pulled it right out. Yeah, he's fine. David Blaine's awesome.
Okay.
I believe in David Blaine. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, what, you don't believe in Jesus, or?
No, I think he was real. I just think he was like early magician. early.
I feel so at odds in this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So the corporate holiday of Valentine's Day actually was kind of attributed to this guy named Geoffrey Chaucer. Mm-hmm. He was a poet. He's an English poet, and they say that he kind of unofficially invented Valentine's Day, because before then it was like, yeah, they had this festival of Lupercalia that they were trying to like Christianize, but this poet he would place his characters into fictitious historical context that he represented as real. So no record actually exists of romantic celebrations on Valentine's Day prior to this poem that Chaucer wrote around 1375 in his work Parliament of Fowls, where he links a tradition of courtly love with the celebration of St. Valentine's feast day, an association that didn't exist until after his poem received widespread attention. So they didn't even have a Valentine's Day until he wrote this poem where it was like his art turned into reality.
Okay.
Like life mirrored art instead of vice versa. He's like, yeah, when all the couples got together on this St. Valentine's feast day, you know, the one. And then it's like, well, why do you pick February 14th? And he's like, well, that's when all of he says, this is a quote from his poem, "For this was sent on St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl cometh to choose his mate." So all the birds were like mating, and then like all the people are mating.
So it sounds like he took credit for someone else's thing.
Well, he didn't. He invented it. He because no one even celebrated it as
Why did he say St. Valentine's then?
He just pulled it out of his fucking ass.
Really?
Yeah.
But wasn't St. Valentine's like actual cat who existed?
Yeah, but like he had no relation to February 14th.
Okay, got it.
So like he existed. He maybe married people in secret. So there's like that connection with like couples, but there's no connection to February 14th with St. Valentine until this dude, Geoffrey Chaucer, wrote about it in a poem. And then he linked the two to like a romantic thing. And it was like the same day of when this festival would happen, which was kind of about couples, but it was not about love. It was not like romantic at all of any sort.
Okay.
It was like, we need to sacrifice an animal so that we can have babies. But like, it wasn't like, ooh, a courtship, until this guy wrote about it in a poem.
Okay.
And then people were like, oh, okay. So now the St. Valentine's feast day, like in that famous poem. And so by the 1400s, there were these nobles that were inspired by Chaucer's poem, And they began writing poems known as Valentines to their love interests. And then it was only at this point that stories began to appear linking St. Valentine to romance. Previously, he was just like this dude that was, doing his priestly duties of marrying people, but wasn't like he was like into romance.
Okay.
He's like, I'll sanctify your relationship under God, but I'm not gonna like. He's not like, hey, light a candle between the two of you and like.
Got it.
Say romantic things.
Interesting.
Yeah. But mostly I feel like so Hallmark adopted this holiday in 1913. So that was like 500 years later. It's like 500 years later, Hallmark was like, oh, St. Valentine's Day? Oh, yeah, we'll take it. Like they used to write little notes to each other. Yeah, we got cards to sell. And there's like a lull between Christmas and
July 4th.
Yeah, there's like no one's writing any like greeting cards.
You don't
right?
really do greeting cards on July 4th either.
You don't?
No.
No, so when do you do them? You like
anniversaries.
Get well soon, graduations.
That's about it.
June. So there's like a whole big lull and they're like, we need something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why they latched on. And, people want to have something to look forward to in like a cold season.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dull and everything's gray.
After Christmas, it is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I got to go to work. And like, there's nothing to break up the monotony.
No.
So it's kind of nice. I think that's why we embraced it as a holiday. We're like, sure. Like we need more things to celebrate.
Well, we need more things to sell too. Not to be the cynical guy,
yeah.
but like that is like as soon as like Christmas it's like strikes midnight, there's already Valentine's Day stuff up. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Before that, it's like during Christmas time, I've seen Valentine's Day stuff start to be set out.
Yeah. Especially like as it gets closer to the actual day, which is so confusing.
It's really annoying. Like I don't like when the mixture of holidays happens when it's separate in my brain. Like on Halloween when they have Christmas shit out.
Yeah.
And then people...
Dude, September they have Christmas shit out now. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And honestly, it ruins it for me. And then people are like, well, what about, us? We have to prepare to budget for Christmas. So it's like it's nice that they have it out early, but it's like it ruins the spirit of it. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Maybe
it's
just
like Christmas season just gets too long.
You can budget and maybe just, start budgeting in September, but I don't feel like you have to... Also, you don't have to budget at all. You can just celebrate the spirit of Christmas.
Valentine's Day is one of the most like corporate ones though, where it's so obviously corporate.
Yeah, like they definitely took it over.
They took it over, and then not only that, but like all the restaurants, it's like $300 just to sit down.
Yeah.
It's like, and you guys know you can't get what you normally get. We got a menu.
So that's what I wanted to pivot to, is to ask you, how do you feel about like corporate holidays and especially as a couple, like the romantic holiday of the year?
I mean, for me, it's just that I like you already, so that's good. That's a plus.
That's a good point.
It's an excuse to hang out with you more, because like it's like at least every year I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna hang out with Nikki that night.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool. I like that, but like I have to say, like the past couple of years, like the idea of, we've talked about this many times, but like the idea of going somewhere and paying $400 just to have dinner together is like wild.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It doesn't make it more fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that is kind of that. It's just become a bummer kind of in a way.
Yeah. I like having something to celebrate.
Yeah.
But and because I like you, and I also we're both romantic people.
Right.
But I don't think it has to be expensive. Like I don't think you have to cater to like the corporate aspect of it.
Right.
So like I don't know. I was raised in a family where my mom like hated Valentine's Day. Like, well, she used to give us little Valentines and stuff, but she didn't like that. She didn't like any idea of a forced romantic holiday.
Right.
Like where it's like, oh, you're just gonna buy me flowers on this day because you're being like pressured to. Like, why don't you just buy me a flower on a day you're thinking of me?
Yeah, I get that.
And so
why not both?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, buy me a flower when you're thinking of me, but also like it's kind of nice to like have a day to look forward to.
I think so. It breaks up the
where
monotony.
we celebrate it, but we don't have to go all out and do a preset menu at the fanciest of restaurants. And
all that stuff just got it. I don't know if we changed or if they changed, but it got worse.
Well, it's a modern day version of the male showing his peacock feathers.
Yeah.
It's I could take you to a fancier place.
Right.
On Valentine's Day, the day of all romance.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's also
the comparative reality shit where you look at your neighbor and what they're doing for Valentine's Day and people on social media, what they're doing for Valentine's Day. And it's almost like you're competing with strangers.
Well, there's a whole new level with social media now too of it being a tentpole holiday. So we can create a bunch of content around it where, if you're a food blogger, then you can do Valentine's Day cookie recipes. And if you're a home decor or DIY person, you do Valentine's themed candles or whatever. It's so social media's added a whole new element to it. And then the modern day people that want to rebel against a forced romantic holiday and celebrate singledom. They created a whole anti-Valentine's Day where it's they got Galentine's Day. They got Sad Day, which is Single Awareness Day.
Shut the hell up.
No, it is.
That's crazy
it's on the same day. It's called the Sad. It's called Sad Day.
It is sad.
Single Awareness Day.
Jesus, dude.
And people will buy themselves chocolates.
No hate to single people, but that is
exactly.
That is a wild interpretation.
If you don't like it, just don't celebrate it. But so they'll buy themselves chocolates and flowers, and then they'll eat it alone or whatever. And they're I'm celebrating Single Awareness Day.
Well, it's got to be a bit, right?
Yeah, I think it started as a bit.
It sounds like mostly a bit.
It's mostly a bit.
But then always some people take it way too seriously, and it's oh shit.
And then there's people that just go out of their way to go, I don't believe in this holiday and I'm empowered by being single. It's good for you. I don't know if you have to make a big fuss about anything really. Yeah. People just take things really seriously. Where it's
a lot of people get bent out of shape because there's a holiday that guys obviously invented called Steak and a Blowjob Day. Where your chick makes you a steak and gives you a blowjob.
What?
Yeah, it's
I haven't heard of that. It's a bit? Yeah.
Well, it's a bit, and then guys are trying to actually make it a thing, whatever. That's just a stupid bit.
Yeah.
But I've seen some people get super pissed about it. That's fucked up. But yeah, it's usually single women. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I could never take myself that seriously. I couldn't take myself seriously enough to be mad if you didn't get me a thing for Valentine's Day. There are people that really place a lot of emphasis on what are you going to get me for Valentine's Day, or Valentine's Day is coming up. I got my eye on this tennis bracelet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that this satire bit of Steak and Blowjob Day is coming out of that, where it's men are why are we expected to get them something on Valentine's Day? We don't have a day where they get us something. It's God damn.
And by the way, I'm positive
you all are insufferable.
Yeah, and I'm positive about that there are guys who take that one too seriously too.
Sure.
Obviously.
Well, there's just a whole war right now on the genders of it's not fair that women expect to be everything paid for, and it's don't do it then.
Yeah, just don't do it, bro.
Just find someone that doesn't want that or whatever. But it's you seek out women that want that so that you can point it out how fucked up it is or something. It's those podcasts where they bring women on just for the sake of making fun of them.
It's the best, dude.
I don't get it.
You're a OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
You're a whore.
Yeah. Wow.
And they're
real deep thoughts
they're just
here.
sitting there, and it's yeah, you show, and then they say something oh, well, I would like to have a man someday. You're never gonna have a man. You show your butthole for money.
Yeah.
Fucking whore.
Dunked on.
And it's why are they there?
Yeah.
Why are
did
these
you
girls
have
there?
them? Yeah.
Why you just did it just to dunk on them? It's wild, dude.
It's really
It's
wild.
a wild format.
They don't want to have a constructive conversation. They just want to dunk on.
Just want to call these women whores.
Yeah.
And the guys who watch are yeah, I can't wait for the next episode where they're gonna have a girl on.
I wonder who we're gonna call her next.
Oh, maybe you call her a slut next time. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Gold digging slut.
Well, it's definitely engagement farming, but
look, it works, right?
It works, and there's a whole hate men culture, and then there's a whole hate women culture, and it's like they just continue to intensify and then make these weird stands against stupid corporate holidays that are like, it's okay, you don't like it, don't celebrate it then.
Like if we had an OnlyFans model on here, like I feel like we would ask her like questions.
We'll be interested in
like,
her.
Hi, why are you a whore, for example?
Yeah. That's a good starter question.
Yeah, why are you a gold digging slut?
Yeah.
A gold digging whore.
Why do you think it's okay to be
to show pictures of your butthole online? A
gold digging whore.
Yeah, that's a great question. We should write that one down. Mark, write that one down too.
But the thing is, they don't take notes when the gold digging whores answer on their podcast. They're just trying to call them names.
Yeah, they laugh.
But we would actually listen to the answers.
Find out why they're gold digging whores.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, nobody's a gold digging whore.
You don't even have to say it. See.
I do, because everyone takes things so goddamn literally.
Good point.
And then they're going to take it out of context.
You know what they don't take out of context? What? When we go to break. And we will be right back.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you thanks for listening to our podcast. And if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us.
Listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're like kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blake.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show.
And we're back. One of my favorite things that is about transitioning between the holidays, right? Like you were talking about?
Yeah.
Is this new trend. I mean, obviously it's probably happened for a long time, but there's one where these TikTok girls, it's mostly women on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Who like go to where there's rural areas and it turns into fall and so the leaves are falling.
Mm-hmm.
And they find like these rural areas where they basically break into some guy's farm and they're like taking all these like glamour shots of themselves with the photographer. And like they're in some guy's like private road and like on his farm and shit. And like there's this one poor son of a bitch who has like the most picturesque, perfect farm that all these influencers like go to, and they basically just like
this is a real thing.
Yeah, they raid his farm every year and like take shitloads of pictures, and this guy's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" and shit.
Oh, they don't pay for it?
No, they like just
they show up on his property.
Yeah, and start taking pictures of themselves and shit with like ring lights and shit. Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's the best. But that is talk about like corporatization or adding something like that's maybe bad to holiday stuff.
Yeah.
The way that we've like, even you're scrolling on Instagram and you see that picture of the girl with fall leaves and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's nice. And then thinking about like this farmer who's like, oh my God, I can't even catch a freaking break. And everyone's taking the same damn picture.
But it's so fucking crazy because like nothing's real anymore. That's not real because they don't actually like organically stumble across leaves, right? Yeah. But also with how fast AI is progressing. Like you don't even need to leave your house really. Like you could just go outside. If you live in an apartment, you just go outside your apartment, find a blank wall and like go like this. And then literally there's a thing that Photoshop added last year called Firefly, I think, where it's generative fill and you just like you highlight an area and you tell it what to put there. You just like highlight a thing and you're like fall leaves, and then it generates fall leaves there, and then you can scroll through different versions of what it's created to find like the perfect one, and it's pretty good. Like it looks really real.
They have that with motion now too. So you have a picture. Yeah, you have a picture that's like still.
Yeah.
And then say it's like a plane, right? And you have the exhaust trail, and you can like make the exhaust trail move and then make it so it looks like the clouds are moving too. So it looks like it's like a GIF now or like a video.
Yeah. I've seen
just
that.
A still picture.
Yeah, where they like mask out the background and then like put a video of sky moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like with one, like you said, like one click, the click drag over it and it adds motion.
Yeah. I mean, CapCut's made it like really easy to do editing with videos and stuff, but it's pretty wild, like what they're able to do, which is kind of somewhat concerning. It's pretty concerning.
What, in your opinion, is the realest holiday out of all?
The realest holiday?
The realest holiday, because we've corporatized everything in this country and in the world.
Yeah.
What do you think is the realest deal holiday?
I mean, I like don't think you'll ever be able to get to the most authentic thing answer, because we've been so programmed that Christmas is the realest of the real. And like, unless you want to go all counterculture about it, like be a contrarian and be like, no, I don't pick Christmas, I pick May Day. Like what? April Fool's Day is pretty sick.
April Fool's Day is sick.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like I like to dress up, I guess, for things. Like I always like a theme, but most of the times, like if I don't feel like celebrating on that day, like I just don't. Like many a St. Patrick's Day has gone by I don't go out and don't dress up. For some reason,
we always tend to do Cinco de Mayo because I like Mexican food.
Because you like Mexican food, yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, in Santa Barbara, we had really big events where the whole city shuts down, and that was Fiesta.
So cool.
And I guess that I didn't realize that wasn't happening everywhere because I just grew up there. And yeah, the whole town shuts down for a week, and they shut down like streets and stuff, and everyone's walking in the street, and there's a whole festival, and like
there's confetti everywhere.
There's parades, there's mariachi bands, there's flamenco dancers, there's
taco trucks everywhere.
Yeah, there's like, and then there's like a pancake day, and like there's all kinds of shit. And there's churros everywhere.
It's awesome.
And like that's pretty fun. And I used to think that was a holiday.
It feels like one.
It feels like one, right? It's like in Santa Barbara, and like I think they do it in various Spanish history towns, because like the missions were made all throughout the California coast, and in those towns there's like a lot of Spanish culture stayed.
Yeah, so they do fiesta stuff too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I was in San Antonio, and they kind of had similar holidays and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, like I feel like the ones I like celebrating the most are like the personal ones.
Yes.
Like our anniversary.
Yeah. Anniversary, and then anytime that family's involved.
Birthdays.
So yeah, birthday, obviously Christmas, because like we see family, ideally. Thanksgiving, family, birthday, anniversary, like those to me are the highlights. And then because of July 4th, we've had a tradition where we saw your parents like a bunch of years, and that was cool.
Yeah, so I like the idea if you just don't take it seriously.
I like that,
where it's like, if you feel like celebrating, cool, celebrate it. If you don't feel like celebrating, you don't have to make a war on it. You could just I know. Just not celebrate it.
Yeah,
I don't know, there's been many years where we did stuff and then we didn't do stuff.
Sure.
Who cares?
It is sort of impossible to skip Christmas, though.
Yeah.
Christmas is freaking everywhere.
And I wouldn't want to.
No, I wouldn't either. But I'm just saying, if I was a person who's like, I don't like Christmas, I don't want to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, one of the villains, like one of the bad guys in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you avoid it.
Well,
you go to a beach somewhere, I guess.
Jewish people have Hanukkah.
Right.
So, like, I guess they would have that instead of Christmas.
But they have Hanukkah,
but even like around
Christmas.
Yeah, it's like if you don't celebrate any holidays during that time, I guess it's a little odd. But it does it creates there's like a seasonal depression aspect to it, where like lonely people get really depressed during the holidays because it's supposed to be a joyous time of celebration. But then like if you don't have family or like a spouse or something, they just get really sad. I wish the best for those people. Like I hope that they can kind of see like there's a spirit involved where you can like participate without, you don't really need that. Like you can be your own version of that.
Do you know why they for Christmas time they put stuff in stockings?
There's many different theories to that.
Do you know why?
But like, why? I feel like you have an answer.
I heard an answer before, but I don't know if it's real.
Okay, go for it.
I heard that someone was given instructions to leave presents like by the fireplace. And they were told to, but they didn't want to hurt the presents, so then they put them in the stockings. Yeah,
and people used to dry their stockings by the fireplace. Like they wash them and then they hang them by the fireplace.
So then the cat,
it gets dry.
Cat put them in there, and then someone's like, "That's a pretty good idea."
And the kids didn't know who put it in there.
I don't know. I don't know if that's part of it, but that's what I heard.
Well, I've done a whole deep dive, I think, on Christmas in one of our previous Shit They Don't Tell You episodes.
I just find it to be it's that, like, we talk about pagan and talk about like all weird symbolism and stuff like that. Having a sock filled with stuff that we do every year, and that's like the highlight of like the Christmas at your guys' house.
Yeah, some people don't do it.
I know.
which is crazy to me.
Yeah, but
stockings are like a big deal.
It's a huge.
Christmas.
It's like the biggest deal.
It's like the thing.
It's the thing.
Stocking stuffers.
I had never experienced before. Because like, with us, it's just like you get one of those little lifesaver books.
Oh yeah.
And like a candy cane.
That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
We didn't do like you guys do like gifts in there.
Yeah.
You guys are thoughtful.
Yeah, they're
like,
really thoughtful.
And it's like, oh, Steve joined the family. We're going to get him like spicy jerky and shit. And I'm like, this is like specific.
It's very specific.
It's like jalapeno tequila. I'm like, damn, this is like, they know me.
I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
So within our family, just for people listening, we always start Christmas Day off with opening stockings, but it's like the biggest event because the present time there's not very many presents.
No.
But the stockings are like full.
It takes like 45 minutes.
Yeah. The way it started though was because all of us grandkids, there's like 5 of us, right? We would all get all the presents. So all the aunts and uncles would buy all the presents, and the grandparents, would buy all the presents for the kids. And Santa, of course, buy presents for the kids. So there were fuck tons of presents under the tree. And the adults didn't want to buy gifts for each other. So they would draw names and then they would fill stockings.
Okay.
But, they didn't want to just have stocking gifts for adults, so they would fill the kids' stockings too. But mostly it was a way for the adults to get each other little things for Christmas without spending a bunch of money. Yep. And so that's why they like a day beforehand, they'll be last minute shopping on downtown Long Beach and 2nd Street because they're just buying like stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
It's like a last minute little like, oh, this reminds me of so-and-so. And like, I'm going to put that in their stocking tomorrow.
They give really cool shit.
But yeah, exactly. But now all of the grandkids are grown up. They're all like in their 30s. and so
same thing. Nobody wants to spend shitloads of money.
And there's no kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now the stocking portion is like the main event.
It is.
And like
that makes sense.
The present portion is just whoever you drew a name for.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the because it's at the Sweeney's house.
My mom's side of the family.
So then there's the thing where like they all got each other presents because they're like siblings with each other and shit.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny too.
Yeah. Well, so that's why you can't pick someone in your immediate family in the drawing because you'd be doing essentially that anyway. You would buy presents for them anyway.
Which we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So
watching like after getting like pretzels and like a beef jerky and then watching Ryan get a surfboard one time, I was like, that is lit.
Yeah. That's always the fun part is like watching
that's the fun part
other
for
people
sure.
get what would they get.
It's like holy shit.
This year I got a poker table felt.
That was awesome.
That was from my grandparents. That wasn't from them. They passed away and like it was their poker felt and then it got passed to me, but my dad wrapped it up for Christmas and we all got to play poker on it and it was so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's cup holders on it.
Yeah, so Christmas is sick and Valentine's Day doesn't even hold a candle to it. But if you want to light a candle and have a little dinner with it, then cool. I think it's fun. I don't expect a lot from it. I think the gestures are nice. Like I enjoy getting flowers on Valentine's Day. There's a side of me that's like, I don't feel like they should price gouge during Valentine's Day just for the same things we would get the very next day for a fraction of the price. So I'm all about getting chocolates the day after or like whatever the day after.
Yeah. Well, you got to plan ahead. You got to plan ahead. Don't get gouged. Well, Valentine's Day is next month. Just don't get gouged. Start right now.
Well, how do you buy flowers like days in advance?
Chocolate. I'm talking about chocolate.
Oh, chocolate.
But yeah, flowers are different.
No, but they have sales. It's not only like regular priced. It's like they have sales on chocolate the day after.
That's true. That's a fact.
But I think they're getting hip to it. Because there's a lot of people that...
No, they got to move inventory. They don't give a shit.
They got to get Easter. They got Easter going.
They got exactly.
Yeah.
They got to melt the chocolate down and form it into an Easter bunny.
Do you know this year, Valentine's Day is actually on Ash Wednesday?
Oh.
You know what Ash Wednesday is?
Yeah, I don't remember.
So Ash Wednesday, 40 days after Ash Wednesday is when Easter is.
Right. So that's the start of Lent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Fat Tuesday is February 13th this year. And which is crazy because if you give up stuff for Lent, like you're giving up pleasures and like a lot of people give up chocolate or they give up like cheese or like something that you're,
like decadent,
a luxury item that that you use a lot that you're trying to give up for 40 days, that you're going to sacrifice for 40 days, basically. So then like Ash Wednesday is usually no one gets anything cool because they all gave up stuff for Lent the day before.
Got it.
And it's weird now because it's on Valentine's Day. So if you gave up chocolate and then
Ooh, that's a bad day.
Valentine's Day is on Ash Wednesday.
This is not the year to give up chocolate.
It sucks.
It's not the year.
I gave up chocolate one year and I'll never give it up again.
Please don't.
Because
I remember that you doing that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really eat a lot of chocolate. Like, it should be relatively easy, but I've never done it before. So let's try to give up chocolate. But there's 1 week of the month where that is all I crave. Like, I just need a little bit, but I need it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have it that 1 year. And it was the hardest thing I've ever given up.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that year as much.
I don't know what I'm going to give up this year. What are you going to give up?
I don't really do that.
I know, but why don't you? It's kind of fun.
I don't know. I haven't even thought of it.
What are you doing this year?
I don't know.
Do one.
All right. I'll think about it.
All right, think about it.
I'll think about it.
I don't know what I want to do yet, but I'll let you know.
When is it again?
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll give up watching NFL football.
Shut the fuck up. I used to try to trick the system when I was a kid, but that is not the spirit.
Little hack.
That's not the spirit.
Okay.
Can't be like, I give up homework because I love it so much.
Yeah. True.
Asshole.
True.
All right. Well, happy Valentine's Day to all of you.
Day, folks.
Just like, take the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
if you love
chill.
someone, love on them that day. If you don't, don't.
If you want to give someone a little card that says Happy Valentine's Day, do it.
Yeah. Have fun.
And if not, fuck the man.
Don't take it too serious.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Also, I like homemade stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I like making cards. Or
Yeah.
A little sentiment. I just like a little sentiment.
Yeah, sentimental.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll put it in my journal and I go, that's what happened that year. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
All right. Well, let us know what you're doing for Valentine's Day. Try not to get into any beheadings of priests or
There you go. Good, always good tip.
Don't get whipped too hard by goat hides, I guess.
And rugs.
Happy fertility to you.
There it is.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.